pretty sure you haven't seen a video like this before, and I'm not gonna make you wait till the end for the result. I'm just gonna tell you we are officially refugees in Mexico from the United States of America. This is our story.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law, hope they won't shoot me down soon.
I'm going to share the process for it happening because some of you watching this may need to go through the same process at some point. And as far as I know, there's no video like this documenting this process. But as I told the officials at the refugee office, this is going to become more common in the future, because at any time you can be the victim of police violence, abuse, you can be imprisoned, you can be killed for your beliefs, for defending your rights, for your color or where you're from. The absolute insanity of the US government, a government that imprisons more than any other country in the world. There were signs that there was going to be a setup. After years of watching my friends imprisoned or shot, I watched the government in Grant County, Washington, where I lived, try to ramp up their harassment, arresting me, and eventually the judicial criminals and prosecutors of Grant County trying to conspire to force me to unlock my phone, which they'd stolen from me and they couldn't get into, which is of course completely illegal under the laws of the United States, but that doesn't matter once you're in the courtroom. Allowing the government to have the opportunity to plant evidence on my device, which had nothing bad on it, I wasn't willing to give them that chance. And I said enough is enough. I'm not willing to bow to this court anymore. I'm not willing to be terrorized, and I'm not willing to let my kids grow up A, without their dad, and B, in a country where freedom is the laughing stock of our courts, our judges, our government, and sadly often our propagandized people. You don't have to walk into a gas chamber. You don't have to keep showing up for these courts if you know they're trying to take everything you have, to take your family, to take your life, to put you in prison when you've done nothing wrong. It's okay to walk away. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do for yourself or your family is to say no to the bully. So at the end of 2017, we loaded up our camper, everything we could carry, abandoned our house.
I'll tell you one more time.
Are you gonna leave or not?
You can either leave right now with your kids in your vehicle.
Okay, so you're threatening my family with force then.
Hope is yours to take. Joy is what we make. Carried by sinners, lost at sea. Peace is found in grace.
All right, today's the day that we go down to Mexico City and apply for political asylum to try and get some measure, some buffer of protection from our insane government. We've got the documents, we've got the news articles, we've got the threats, everything going to Mexico City.
All strangers that encounter a danger to their life, their liberty, or their security for ideas or activities that are political, directly related to their public profile, and lacking the protection of their own country can petition to be granted a document. This is the law over refugees, complementary protection, and political asylum, and that was Article 62.
Okay, here we are. We're in the federal district of Mexico City. Let's do it. And they're closed, which means we gotta find a room and try this again tomorrow.
Because that's adorable. Like a 50. We have a street performer here.
right, day 2. So we didn't get it done yesterday. We didn't really come, which is a bit embarrassing for me. We didn't really come very prepared because I thought we'd be, filing stuff and then going home, but we ended up having to stay over. So same clothes, no deodorant. But I did get to shower, and we're gonna go down to the main office. Nice. Okay, well, I think they were a little surprised by our request, and they did a bunch of digging, and they took us to one office and then the other. But apparently, we're still in the wrong building, and we need to go to one of the other places. So they gave us an address. Spent the last 2.5 hours in the Migration Institute dealing with refugee status and asylum and all that kind of stuff, and there's plenty of bureaucratic red tape. So we got some information. We weren't able to do the application today. To do it with the whole family, we'll have to come back with the whole family. But we're going to keep working on it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we just left the UN building that deals with refugees, and Sophia was there, and she answered a ton of questions. She was very, she had amazing English, which really helped, and was very good about just answering questions. So this is a division, we don't have to get into all the UN stuff right now, and whether we agree with everything they do, but the fact is we went in there and she was really helpful about the red tape and what's true and what's not, and dealing with our refugee status and asylum and all those things. That said, neither Nathan or I have had food or drink since we left the hotel this morning, and it's like 4 o'clock because we have been dealing with red tape and trying to figure out all this stuff. And that's one of the reasons we're documenting this, is so when it comes for other people, it'll be maybe just a little bit easier. Well, nothing like meeting wiring code. Woo! So it is the middle of July. We've got the papers filed in the Comar office for refugee status, and there's a lot of bureaucracy involved, but you're supposed to go in every week and sign to show that you're still pursuing it. Now, according to the law, the Comar office is supposed to actually process this within like 30 or 45 days. But what they've done is, because of the earthquake last year in Mexico City, they've said, well, we're going to suspend that rule. And so now they just kind of take as long as they want. In the meantime, they actually give us this paper that is basically says, hey, this person has a pending application. They can't be, they're legitimate to be here. It's not the same as a residency card or a visa, and due to U.S. pressure to prevent immigrants from the South from traveling, it only actually applies technically in the state that you are applied in, even though that is a violation of Article 11 of La Constitución de Mexico. However, you can't fight everything every day. I could just say, well, let's just be normal residents. But because of the danger that the USA presents to me, and all of the cronies and the good old boys and the criminals there that would like to see me in prison, we're going through and saying, look, we want to be officially recognized. We actually got the letter for the approval of some of our temporary humanitarian residencies, because the refugee process is taking so long right now. So they're actually giving out residencies that are temporary. The problem is, what's happening in these immigration offices is completely unacceptable, and it would be great to see the activists come down here. It's not that they actually arrest you or beat you up like US cops, but they're completely rude. They're always shushing you. For example, I'll bring my brother to the window because he understands something they're saying better, and they try and say you can't have 2 people at the window. I mean, just arbitrary, foolish, made-up rules that they have no right to do. And of course, yes, in the States, we treat people worse than this, but I completely oppose what happens at our immigration offices in the States. And we don't want Mexico to become like the US. So it's been over a year, like a year and
2 months maybe. Finally, and with all the process, all the refugees from down south, all the chaos, like it's really, the system is so jammed up. Even though they're supposed to process within 45 days, that's completely ignored by the bureaucracy. But we finally got the paper today saying I have my interview, one of 2 interviews to finalize the process on August 1st. It's just an interview here. Okay, so we're headed down. Today is our interview we've been waiting for over a year now. So a little nervous, and we don't really know what questions they're gonna ask or anything like that, but we've submitted a lot of documentation on our situation, and this is where we go to meet Daniel. First interview done. It's like an hour long. I'll talk later. A lot of questions, you know, things like, well, you know, what was happening, what made you want to leave, kind of reaffirming what was already in my original application, but then kind of, you know, drilling deeper. They were trying to pin down, you know, like, why not just go to a different place in your own country? Why not just go to another state? And questions like that. And I explained it doesn't really work that way. If they really want you in another state, you're not protected. You can be facing charges that might be minimal, but you still end up dead. You still end up facing more charges. You still end up with ridiculous prison sentences. I mean, look at the activists that went to jail just for the weekend and they hung themselves in their cell. And so I explained a lot of this stuff to them. She's going to take the call then and basically transcribe that down into a text document in Spanish to give to her superiors for review. But that's the first interview. Theoretically, they can request another interview. The local person in the office that I just go and visit with and that we originally filed the application with, he doesn't make the decisions. He's basically just the coordinator, right? He doesn't seem to think there's a problem. He thinks that the application is sufficient, but every time somebody threatens me, sends me a threatening email, every time they say, you know, they're calling the police on me, they're trying to find my location so that I can get extradited, all this kind of stuff. I saved all of that, and I submitted a lot of that in my original application, and I've continued to save more of it and more of it and more of it as it comes in. The only reason logically for this claim to be denied is if, like the USA, they're looking to deny the claims, and they deny a huge amount of them, even though people are in real danger, which we do in the USA all the time. And it's an atrocity. We literally send people back and then they get murdered because our system doesn't follow the rules. It doesn't follow the law. It doesn't respect human rights in the USA. We just abuse people. Our asylum system is not really about come in the right way, just like our immigration system is not. It's about, we don't want you here. And if you are here, you're going to be a slave. So if you are an immigrant from another country, besides the US even, if you're coming from Latin America, honestly, knowing what I know about the US, because we're a completely fascist state, we don't have the freedom that we portray in our movies and in our media. If you're coming from Honduras or something like that, I would say you're much better off to get asylum in Mexico. They're much more open about it. Right, so we got an email on Thursday saying that we have a resolution, but they're not telling us what it is. So, I don't want to adjust this. I want to say it's been about 3 months since we had the interview that I talked about, and I've still been going in, doing all the goofiness, signing every week to indicate that I'm still pursuing this. So hopefully they don't give us trouble. I mean, we've provided a lot of documentation in our case, and we'll just see how it goes. Kind of saying our prayers and just taking one day at a time. There's methods that can be appealed if they do deny it, but I've been kind of uptight about it the past few days. Been a long weekend, so we're gonna head down there today and see what that resolution looks like. 4 o'clock on Monday, and yeah, you know, it's kind of like when you're going to court or something. Even though I'm not on trial, it's still like, you know, it kind of feels that way. Kind of feels that way. Okay, we are refugees. This is it. We are officially refugees in Mexico. We just got to wait for the original documents, and then they will give us green cards as part of the process. There's no charge, or this is basically, it's done. We just got to go through the final paperwork to have the immigration office make the cards. We're not citizens, but we're permanent. So I just feel like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I felt that way when I first left the USA just to get out of there. But then over time, like the stress of having to deal with all this garbage that the world throws on us these days with this immigration stuff. And now I just feel like another huge weight lifted. There's always another weight, but thank God, praise Jesus, this one is resolved. It's a bag of sugar cane with lime and chili, of course. Poco más mexicano, boy. I feel a little bit more Mexican today, and you know what? I'm not into nationalism anywhere, but I just feel like I'm a little more at home. I'm not this idea that people are always like, oh, you're a guest, do what you're told. I'm not a guest anymore.
It's been almost 2 years since we left. My brother Nathan and his family is down here, and my parents do come down to visit. Everybody else, all my other brothers, I haven't seen in over 2 years, sister-in-laws, all that kind of stuff. So today, my older brother, I have 2 older brothers, but one of my older brother and his wife and 6 kids, I want to say now, are coming down, all of them, to stay for a while down here. And honestly, it kind of feels like the old days, right? When you would travel by wagon train and you'd like come, and it was a long distance, so you wouldn't do it often, but when you did, you'd stay for like a month or the summer or something. So family's coming down. Sandra's really excited. I'm excited too, but you know, I don't start squealing and stuff because man, okay?
Wow, everybody's all dramatic. What's up, person? That's it. Have a good day. Thank you. Now we have to get look at this fancy new building. Governments don't need big buildings. It didn't make them one whit more efficient. It was slower than ever. But so this is the original saying that from Comar that we have refugee status. Now we got to go to INM, which is the immigration office. It's all crap, guys. It's all crap. But this is what you got to do if you don't want to fight everything. They're setting up a carnival. It must be for Revolution Day. So now we have to just get all the like ID photos made, kind of like you do for a passport photo. We have to get documents together, fill out all the forms, and come in to get our permanent residency, which shouldn't be a big deal. Basically, this guarantees it. For your pretty ID photo? Yeah?
Are you ready? Gonna be bonita? Do you want to practice bonita?
They called us again, and they're like, oh, we need to come in. But they didn't say what for. They said we needed to bring all the kids, everybody. So we're like, call them on the phone. And they're like, well, we can't tell you on the phone. So they're completely disorganized. It's hard to understand each other as it is. And they kept hanging up. And apparently what they said is they're intimidated by me. I guess, I mean, I don't think of myself as that crazy and intense. I just want a little bit of confidence, a little bit of communication, not constantly violating people's rights. But remember, I mean, the immigration office, whether in the US or in Mexico, violating rights is like their thing, right? You have to understand that the Comar office, who issued refugee documents, who gives you a status of refugee, they get funding. So this is an office meant to help people, right? They get funding of like $1 million, $1.5 million US dollars per year. The immigration office, INM, right here behind me, this office nationally gets funding of $200 million a year. We got it. Got the cards and the information and the permanence and everything. So we're good. The Comar, the INM, I took, after we got the original Comar document, I want to say like, there's a sign back there that says no cameras, but you know what? That's all right. So we got it. That's it. Gracias. Buenas tardes. Okay, so we are official permanent residents of Mexico. This process has been almost 2 full years. And I remember every week going into that office to sign. That process is a bit egregious, but just wondering, are they gonna arrest me for something, or are they gonna decide to deport me? Has the US contacted them because they wanna make an example that activists can't escape, that you actually have to go into the concentration camps and our for-profit prisons? And that didn't happen. There was bureaucracy, but there was no real problems. And the process at no time was I asked for, making promises that I would or wouldn't do anything, that I would stop doing activism, that I wouldn't speak out, even though I was concerned, like I was doing activism here when things came up and standing up to corruption when I saw it here. And those videos were on my channel. You guys saw those. And I was thinking, well, maybe they'll use those against me. They'll try and arrest me. They'll try and find some reason. But actually, the laws in Mexico on refugees and asylum are pretty open. And Mexico's known for being pretty welcoming to asylum and refugee seekers. And at least in my case, that was followed. I mean, the final approval is like a 12-page research paper from the Mexican government validating my claims of the judicial corruption, the prison corruption, the police violence, and the things that I was bringing up, and how they treat activists. And that's not to say Mexico doesn't have some of these same problems by any means. The drug war has created a lot of violence and a lot of problems down here that didn't used to exist. But their prisons here aren't for profit. They don't run these concentration camps that imprison more people than any other country on earth. And so it's a different world. There's more freedom here. It's a warmer culture here. There's a lot of room to grow. There needs to be more of a stand for human rights around the world, but we're glad we escaped the USA. We're thankful. Sometimes the greatest stand is in saying, no, I won't tolerate this anymore. And I'm going to set an example for those around me, for my kids, for my community, that I just won't have it anymore. All right, you guys, thanks. Appreciate your ongoing support, you channel backers, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you soon. Everybody show your card.
One, hold out your card.
Say Mexico.
Newborn day and that still warm glow. Life's in long lost times ago. Close my eyes so I can see the light. Time stands still while the sun goes round. Distant winds making silent sounds. Daylight waiting to come relieve the night. So let it shine, 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 shine on me. Let it shine, 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 shine on me. Where the footprints stand, roads ahead under scarlet sand. Twilight reaching like angels through the sky. Feel my moment and breathe it in. Search for skies that begin and end. Close my eyes so I can't see